Quick commerce platforms contribute 30 to 50% of the total e-commerce sales of FMCG companies. Huge FMCG companies like ITC, Nestle, Parle are racing towards embracing real-time data exchange to avoid stockouts. Top consumer good companies are reducing their prices and increasing their investments in marketing, expecting to gain market share. Rural market contributes to 35% of the total FMCG sales. Rural demand seems to be a worry for the big players due to the presence of local firms and their play during lower levels of inflation. Seems like a lot is going on in this segment, right? Join our webinar so that you can get an insight in the ever-evolving world of FMCG. See you there.
Falling contrarian opinions. When I came to the market, there were more naysayers than believers. There were more people who had contrarian views or negative views. The number of people who believed in companies was a smaller lot, and those who didn't believe in companies was a much bigger subset. Such were the times. Today, if you take any company, you can find numerous views in favor of the company and hardly any views against the company. This is generally the case. And in fact, this becomes all the more pronounced when you go down the ladder of companies by size. For example, you're more likely to see contrarian opinions in a large company like an ITC or a Bharti or a Tata Motors than you would in an SME company. As you come down the ladder of size, consensus keeps growing. The only views you hear are one-sided and mostly in favor of the company. When I say contrarian views, it does not necessarily mean views against the company, but in a market where the consensus is heavily in favor of the company, the contrarian view has to be an adverse view. But what I am noticing today is that fewer and fewer people want to give contrarian opinions. Why take the trouble? Why should I stick my neck out? Is the general sense. Some still do voice their views by habit. It's an old habit. You're used to telling things against companies, you still continue to do that. But most people have gone silent. It's like you are heading into something bad and nobody will tell you. That's the situation today in the market, and this is more pronounced when you go down the size of companies. So, when you start looking at small caps, the numbers start reducing. By the time you come to micro caps, consensus is very high, and by the time you go to SME, everybody is only saying nice things about companies. But the market is a different animal. It has a mind of its own. Today's consensus can easily collapse in a time frame much shorter than we imagine. Consensus which is manufactured is a big risk for those who believe in it. And today, as the size of the companies go down and as companies become smaller and smaller, consensus manufacturing is a very, very prominent activity among investors and analysts alike. It's very easy to manufacture consensus in smaller companies because most people don't know anything about the company and are happy to accept any view so that they can form a judgment on the company. So, more people are concentrating on creating opinions, on building consensus and convincing more people in smaller companies. So, the SME has become so big that a 26 crore IPO attracts 10,000 crore of capital. Isn't it ridiculous? But that's what it is. Similarly, Investors are going and buying stocks in unlisted SME companies in the hope that they would do an IPO at a much higher valuation, and the scarcity in the IPO will further elevate valuations. This whole network effect works on only one principle, that there is scarcity and there is always a greater fool waiting to buy from you. It's a very, very dangerous combination to trust, but people are trusting this because there is nobody else on the other side to forcefully tell them, hey, this can take you to a very bad place. On the other hand, people are thinking, I am taking this risk only for 1 week. What can go wrong in 1 week? That's broadly the mood of the market today, and that's where consensus thinking is dominating contrarian thought. Nobody wants to risk being a contrarian. Nobody wants to take the effort of telling others something or convincing others. And everybody who has a negative view is more comfortable staying quiet than raising an alarm. In that kind of a market environment, the alarm bells has to ring only within you, the investor. Nobody is going to wake you up. That's the warning bell of this market to all of us. Thank you for watching this video.